Hello, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we are going to talk about the conditional access that called CA with the compliance policy. So we'll integrate our compliance policy result with the conditional access. So that is a all scenario in this video. In my last video, you have seen it how you can create the customized compliance policy in Intune. So if you have not watched that video, you can watch that video. So let's get started. So now here is the agenda for this video. Understand the conditional access architecture, how the conditional access architecture looks like, a requirement, what are the requirements we need, signals and decisions, conditions for the cloud app, conditions for the client app, controls and the common signals, the common decisions, and the practical labs, and finally it's a reporting. So let's start with the first point. Understand the conditional access. What is the conditional access? So Microsoft intra conditional access brings signals together and to make the decisions and enforce the organization policy. So basically, this conditional access is a part of conditional access is the part of the intra, and the option you can see in it inside the Intune as well. So it will bring the signals coming from the various resources that I will show you from where the signals will come. Signals, it's like a notification, and based on that, or the decision will take on the condition access. So that's the policy we are applying. Now, the conditional access is a Microsoft zero trust policy engine, taking a signals from the various sources into the account when enforcing the policy decision on the end user device. Now, here the conditional access policy CA at their simplest are in then if then statement. If a user want to access a resource, then they must complete an the action, or they must fulfill the prerequisite, some of the prerequisite that define in your the compliance policy. So here is I given a one example. If a user want to access in the application or the service like a Microsoft 365, then they must be perform the multi-factor authentication to gain the access. So this is the example. Or if you don't want to activate the multi-factor authentication, your the compliance result should be yes, or it should be the compliant the device. So based on your compliance also you can set it, or without the CA, without your compliance result also you can configure your CA compliance, this conditionally access. Now, here is the conditional access architecture, how it looks like. So these are the conditions, controls, and then it will reach it to the user, how the user will access that application, or whether user will access that application or not. So conditions coming from the users, devices, locations, or the app, whatever you set it the conditions, like you set it a condition based on the location. So if the user is in a particular location or the subnet or the IP range, then only user can able to access the Office 365 application. So in that condition, if it is followed that condition, it will go to the control. If the condition met, then it will allow the access and the user can able to access the application. If the condition doesn't match, then you can set up the limited access, or you can set up the multi-factor authentication, or you can enforce the password, or you can deny the access. So these are the controls you can provide it. Or certain other things is like, as I told you, based on your the compliance policy result also you can integrate with the CA. So based on the compliance result, you suppose you have set it 5 or 6 compliance checks, like the OS version should be matched with the latest version, is a Windows 10 20H2, or the below version it will show the not compliance. So if your device is in not compliance, then you can block the access, deny the access, or you can do the limited access on your resources. Now let's see the requirement. What are the requirements? So modern authentication support. What are the authentication way it can support? The token based or the multi-factor authentication to the Office 365. SSO it can support, or ADAL it can be support, Active Directory Authentication Library. and enabled by default in the Office 2016, and it can support for your the cloud service. Turn on Exchange Online, SharePoint, Skype, and the business Skype for the business by default. And this is for the think about disable the protocol app you are using the basic authentications. So now you will get like this pop-up when you are authenticating, and you can put the password. So this is like just a symbol. Let's quickly move it to the what are the signals and the decisions. So signals basically coming from your applications, like if you want to check the application version or application is installed or not, then only your device will be the compliance, or based on the uh, uh, like these are the signals. So application will send the signals in the sense the details or the alert. Application platform risk like whether user is having in a low risk, high risk, medium risk, or it can be coming from the user or the group or the IP locations. So once you receive the signals or the alerts, I can say that will go to the next level for the decision. So decision can be either you can completely block, or you can grant the actions by putting the some conditions, like a required compliant device should be the compliance, or the required the multi-factor authentication should be there, or the required the domain. So in if any of the conditions or all condition match, then you will get the allowed. When this happen, and do this. So if the signals are coming from these part application platform risk user group IP locations, then based on the signals it will take the decisions. Now, this is the architecture how the signals is generated from your the device or user and the location, your application, or the risk real time risk. So based on your the signals, you can define your you want to allow the device, or you want to require the MFA, or you want to block the device. And finally, in this stage, user will get the access, or it can be the block access based on your the decision. Now let's go to the conditions for the cloud app. So you can give the conditions on the cloud app if the user or grant access in a limited access. So you can define the application which applications can be accessed, or you can define the application which if the user is allowed, then what are the applications that can be accessed. Now, here is the example. If you would like to set the cloud application, so you can select the app, select the app, and you can select the Microsoft Office 365. Now, here is the app conditions for the client app. So, this is like a browser-based application you can define there as well. Now, the control require the compliance device, require the MDM and the compliance policy. Only the Azure AD known devices like a joined or the registered can be marked as a compliance, and require approved client app. So apps that support Intune app protection policies like the Microsoft Outlook, Word, Access, or the require app protection policy. So these are the control you can provide it by the CA. And now here is a grant. If you are granting the application, so you can select the options, mark as a device as a compliance, or you can require the hybrid Azure join. You can select the grant access, or you can select the multiple and can choose it here, like require for all these selected controls. I will show you in the practical lab. Now here is the signals. What is the signals? So as I told you, signals will coming from your application, user, locations, devices. So from these places the signal will come. Based on your signals, if it is matched with your requirement, if it is match, then only the user will get the access. So the identity from the signals will come the user endpoints, Microsoft Defender, Intra, or the Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So like these are the applications will involve, and the signals will come from this part, like the endpoint or the laptop, desktop, tablets, or it can become from the user location. Now, here are the application. These are the identities, and here are the applications. The Microsoft Defender for Cloud, the data, infrastructure, network, cloud app security, or the Microsoft Dune protection. So these are the common signals from where the signals will generate. Now, the common signals name from where it will come. In my the past slide, I shows you the signals can be come from the user and the group. So, here is the definition. The policy can be targeted to the specific user and the group, giving the administrative line gain control over the access. IP locations, based on the IP locations also you can set it. The device, from the device it can become the user with the device of a specific platform, or mark is the specific state be used in the enforcing the conditional policy. It can come from your the applications, it can come from the your real time and the calculated risk decision. So when your device is having Microsoft Defender for endpoint, it will give you the risk record for your device, whether your device is in a low risk, medium risk, or the high risk. Now, here is the common decisions. What are the decisions you can take it? Either you can block completely, most restricted decisions. So don't keep it the block access, because if you block the access, then user cannot connect to the company. Grant access, the less restricted decision can require. So you don't perform, don't select the completely block access. You can select the grant access in the certain conditions. So if the user device is not compliant, so you can give the grant access for the certain conditions for some of the part in your company environment. Now, guys, let me go back to my the Intra or the Intune console. This is the Intune console. In Intune console, so you can go to the devices, and under the devices you can find out. But as I told you, the CA conditional access is the part of your Intra that was earlier Azure Active Directory. So we can create a conditional access on your from this intra Microsoft Intune, Microsoft Intra Admin Center, or the Intune part. So under the Intune, you need to go to the devices, and after the devices, here is the option that's called conditional access. So from here, you can create your the conditional access. Okay, so in my the one of the video, I will put it in the card. I explain the each and every policy, how it going to work, like the name, location, control, terms, VPN, all these things I explained. But now in this scenario, I was trying to explain you how you can create a conditional access based on your the compliance policy. So let's go here. So now here you can see in the create policy and the create a new policy from the template. So let's choose the template, and here are the multiple templates I can see. The require the multi-factor authentication for the admin, the securing the security info registration, block the legacy authentication, require the multi-factor authentication for all users. So you can choose the template and you can define. In my the another video you can see in the same playlist, I explained the everything about your all these templates, what does it do and what it does it do. So all these template I explain details in detail. Now here is the template require the compliance or the hybrid as you already join the device multi-factor for authentication for all users. So let's choose this template to integrate our CA with the compliance policy. So now create new, and it's I'm putting on the read only mode. Once you test it successfully, then you can change it to the in the on state. So let's go to the create, and now here should be the policy should be created, and go to the under policy, and you can see the policy is created. Now first of all, what you need to do, you need to remove your all devices. So here is like a users, just put it for now none, and the selected users, let's go to the selected users, and individually you can define the user or you can define the group as well. So here, let me see if I have the group or not. The conditional. Okay, so let me put it on the Intune compliance device, or it's I create the policy for Intune device teams. So select any of the group. It doesn't matter what it is, and just select this. So all users are part of this group. The policy will apply, but you should be make sure the user should be available inside that policy. If you would like to exclude any of the users, or like this is the admin users which I logged in, so this is by default will exclude, because the access should not be blocked. At least one user should be there which having the access, so that's why the user is excluded. If you want to select any of the user want to exclude from this group, or the users or any of the group, you can select it over here. Now, let me show you the targeted app. Which app will impact when the device is in not compliance and the CA is taking access for the block, or it's giving the grant access for with the limited access. So now here is a cloud app. Go to the edit filter preview. If you want to do the filter, then you can click here. It's for the filtering your app. But if you want to go with the selected app, so the filters usually people are not using, but it up to you. Now select the application here, and it will give you the cloud app list here, so you can select the application to give the access. Like I'm giving the Microsoft Office 365, and here is some other app also which you want to give the access. Now select the application. Now this is the conditions. As I explain you in what of the conditions your application will allow. If it is matched, then it will allow. If not, then it won't. So if you would like to see the risk decision, so you can select the risk decision, the high, medium, low. So this is for your complete device risk decision, which will be calculated by your the Defender antivirus. So if you want to set up, you can just set up it low or medium, anything whatever you like, or based on your company policy. The sign-in risk granted to the all real-time risk detection based on your the sign-in risk. You can select the options over here. Device platform. So this is the device platform on which type of platform this CA will deployed. So go to the selected, and go to the Windows. So I am deploying only for the Windows devices for now, or whichever Android, iOS, wherever you want to deploy, you can deploy it here. Now, so select these locations. So in my the previous video, I explained how you can create the locations, and if you want to use the location, so you can go and select the location. So if you have selected the trusted location, then automatically your device will calculate the location is trusted or not. If your device is coming the trusted location, that means is in the same subnet which you have defined, or your the infra is running, then it will work. If not, it will block the device. But if you have selected locations, so you can go in the selected locations here, like India locations, or the India, the test, US locations. So whichever locations you want to select it, you can select, and based on the location it will work if you mount the location. So for now, I'm not selecting the location. Now here is a client app. As I explained in my the PPT, if you would like to add the client app, so you can go here and can see the authentication will goes to the browser, or the modern app, or the Exchange Sync client, or the other client. So if you want to select it, you can choose that option. So let me go to the browser only. Now here is a filter for the device. So filtering for the device, you can put it here, this device will include or exclude from this compliance policy. So if you want to add it the filters for the devices. Cool. So now we are good with this. Let me go to the grant. You must choose at least the one location. Okay. So any location I'm putting. So that's fine. Now Let me go to the grant selected. So here it's selecting by default is required the multi-factor authentication, and is required the device to be marked the compliance. So this is the most important option for our scenario, to require the device to be marked as compliance. And if you want to be set as a hybrid Azure ready join, that's fine, or this is the multi-factor authentication is not required for now. And here is the required any one of the selected control. So if it is a hybrid Azure ready join, then it will get the access, or if it is marked as a compliance, then also it will get access. So I need both of option. If I need device should be compliance and it should be part of a hybrid Azure ready join, then choose this option. Now get selected. Now the session is like required the user app enforce restrictions, the sign in the frequently, the present browser. So if you would like to be select the sessions, that up to your the company policy. So but I'm not going to select it. Now adds the top of down and end of this policy. So it's in the read only mode. Once you complete the testing, then put it in a on a status. But for now, let us make a read only mode, and now this compliance policy will deploy to on your device on the users which is defined um, in your the group which is added inside your group. Now here is the status for this policy is showing the read only, and if you want to make it on, so you can go and modify it again. It's pretty and simple. So now based on your the device result, the CA will applied. And now let me show you how you can check about the compliance policy result. Anyway, I explained completely in my the past video, so you have to watch the video in a sequence so you will understand better. Now here is the device, and let's see the device status what we have here. So here my the device is showing the compliance I deployed on the Intune 2, and the user is a MEM user. So let me go and see the compliance result and the old policy what I deployed it. So under the device compliance, and here is a custom device compliance policy which I created in my the last video, and it's showing the compliance. So all things are the compliance. The similar way you can find out the compliance result inside your intra. So go to the all devices, and from here you can find out the device compliance status. So now here under all devices, you can go to the any of devices, like I can go with the Intune 2, and under the property you can see in the compliance result is yes. So if it is a compliance result is yes, and you integrate with your integrate with the CA compliance policy, if it is a uh, if this device like a yes, and your the CA will not impact, it will allow the device grant access. So guys, thank you for watching this video. See you soon in my next video.